Hello fellow Helldivers, I hope you're all doing well and still dealing that much needed democracy. In our last video we covered what build is best when facing the bugs on Helldive difficulty, and today we're going to go through what build to use against the automatons that will hopefully make playing on Helldive a breeze. I will say that some of my weapons in this build are in the premium war bonds, but don't worry, I will give alternatives so you'll always have something to use. So starting off with our primary, the Plas 1 Scorcher is currently the best primary weapon to use against the automatons, with the Jar 5 Dominator being a close second, but I prefer the Scorcher for its better handling and accuracy. The Scorcher requires a lengthy grind to get to and can be found on page 8 in the free Helldivers Mobilized War Bond, and will cost you 75 war medals to unlock. If you haven't unlocked the Scorcher, then as said, the Jar 5 Dominator will be your worthy next best. The Scorcher is a light armor damaging plasma rifle with great accuracy and can take down your light enemies in 1 to 2 shots, and has the ability to take down medium and the occasional heavy enemy thanks to its explosive damage. It has a mag capacity of 15 and it comes with 6 spare clips. You do need some ammo discipline when using the Scorcher, as it can go through your ammo very quickly. I find getting into the habit of switching to your secondary to kill the weaker enemies to be a great way of preserving your Scorcher ammo. The Scorcher's main use are for the Scout Striders that can be killed within 3 to 4 shots when hitting their faceplates, and for the Devastators and Berserkers. And when you take stun grenades along, it's great for taking down Hulks, which can be taken down with 1 magazine when hitting their heat sinks. This also applies to heat sinks on the cannons, the AA mortars and tanks. For my secondary, I find the grenade pistol to be a great pick for its high damage and utility. It can take out multiple light enemies and is great for weakening groups of medium armoured enemies like Devastators or Chainsaw Berserkers. It can also be used to destroy bot fabricators and to open containers, making it a very versatile secondary. An alternative to the grenade pistol, but not as versatile, would be the P19 Redeemer, which is great for thinning those light armoured units that press you and is great for applying quick damage to advancing enemy weak spots. If you do have any opportunities to buy anything with super credits, I would highly recommend aiming to get the grenade pistol as soon as you can, as it is a very versatile weapon and is great in a lot of builds. For my grenade, the grenade of choice is of course the G23 Stun Grenade, for its amazing utility, giving me a whole other way of approaching certain combat situations. I use it mainly for Hulks and Chainsaw Berserkers, and can be used for when you're getting pressed and need some breathing space. Normally I throw my stun and then use my Scorcher or support stratagem to target the enemy's weak spots. You can find the stun grenade in the cutting edge premium war bond on the second page for 25 war medals. A substitute to the stun grenade I would recommend, and depends on your gameplay, is impact grenades, for clearing those enemies that will soon be pressing you. I just found the stun grenade came in handy more often. Moving on to our armour, I find when facing the automatons on Helldive difficulty, the B24 Enforcer medium armour to be the perfect balance between armour rating and speed, and comes with a very strong armour passive Fortified, which gives you the standard 30% recoil reduction when crouched or prone, which will come in handy with some of our support stratagems. And more importantly, this armour passive also provides a 50% resistance to explosive damage, which has saved my life more times than I can count, and personally I think it outperforms the Democracy Protects passive and is overall one of the strongest passives you can use against the automatons. As a substitute for the B24 Enforcer armour, which can be bought in the Superstar through rotation, I find any medium armour with a Fortified passive to be a perfect replacement. For your booster, make sure you or a teammate is taking in the Stamina Enhancement booster to compensate for using medium armour as opposed to light armour, so this way you get better armour protection with only a small decrease to your speed stats. I also quite like having the Expert Extraction Pilot booster, as I find extracting on Helldive difficulty on automaton planets to be a lot more difficult than when facing the Terminids, so having your extract time reduced by 15% really goes a long way and is a very underutilised booster. Next up is the all-important stratagems, and before we go through them, I'd just like to say a big thank you for the ongoing support, and if you're enjoying these builds and would like to see more, please like and subscribe. It helps the channel out and shows me what you guys want to see in the future. Now for our first stratagem, if you're a regular watcher of the channel, you'll know when facing the bots we start with the ever reliable Eagle Airstrike. This is always one of my recommendations in most of my builds, as I generally believe there isn't a more well-rounded stratagem in the game. I use the Eagle Airstrike to thin large patrols, take out almost all objectives such as bot fabricators and mortar nests, and when defending extracts. The amazing upkeep time and recharge times make you feel like this stratagem is always available to use, and unless it one day joins the nerf list, I can't see many situations where I don't use my Eagle Airstrike. Next up is the Orbital Laser, which is your one-stop shop for clearing enemy bases, taking out multiple heavy enemies, or just when things are getting too tough and you need to level the playing field. The very limited 3 uses is a bummer, but I find picking your moments and only using it on certain objectives to be the way to go, and I find myself rarely needing all 3 uses per game. I would use the orbital laser only when attacking the largest enemy bases and when defending main objectives, and if you have any left you can use it to defend your extract as well. Anything else is a potential waste in my opinion, so pick your times and you will see how essential this stratagem can be. When facing the bots, the anti-material rifle, also known as the AMR, is in my opinion the best support weapon for taking out multiple medium and heavy enemies with a plethora of ammo before needing to resupply. Just the ability to take down hulks with 2 well placed shots to its red eye should be enough to convince anyone to give this a try. It's great at taking out devastators and berserkers and can take on almost any enemy the automatons throw at us. In most instances you can take out your medium armoured enemies like your devastators in 2 shots, and even better you can take down hulks in 2 shots when aiming for their front red eye, but this does require some well placed shots. The one thing that surprised me was its amazing accuracy when firing from the hip, as I naturally assumed with no crosshairs it would be a nightmare to hit anything, but the hip fire is surprisingly decent for clearing through those medium armoured enemies who can catch you by surprise, and that would normally eat up all your primary ammo, but thanks to the AMR's great ammo capacity you no longer have that worry. And as mentioned in previous guides, I still think it would be great if we could get different sights for our weapons in the future. It would add so much more customization to our builds, and I can only change how we approach different situations. I only mention sights as the AMR sight isn't perfect and it definitely needs some getting used to, as it feels like the scope isn't centered, but once you get used to it it's a great weapon to use. Let me know your thoughts on if there's a need or a want for different sights in the game. And I know a lot of people like the autocannon when facing the bots, and I wouldn't be against you using it if you prefer it. I prefer the AMR as I trust my accuracy and I find I can take down hulks and other heavies more consistently compared to the autocannon, but as I said it really is personal preference. And when facing the bots I find the EMS mortar an absolute must for purely how much of an effect it has on the battlefield. When I say this mortar can really change the tide of battle, it's no joke. You place this mortar when attacking or defending objectives or extracting and you'll always have a much easier time, as it slows all enemies inside its EMP radius, making easy pickings for you and your squad. I know that whenever a fellow Helldiver is using the EMS mortar, I am so grateful, as I know this mission is going to be so much easier and more enjoyable. I hope you all enjoyed this 2-part Helldive difficulty build guide, and if you did, please consider liking and subscribing. It's really appreciated, and if there's anything in this build you'd change, please let me know. And on that note, what do you currently run when playing on Helldive yourself, and what do you find yourself struggling with at these higher difficulties? Consider checking out some more of my other videos on the channel, and as always, I'll see you on the battlefield. Blagger out.